If you're live streaming on Instagram but you're struggling with screen sharing, we're going to take a look at the 4 main problems that I hear from my students and how to get around them, or what you need to know to move forward with your live streams. Now, the first thing you need to know in any case is if you are struggling with your Instagram, the first thing you need to check is to make sure there's not an update that your phone missed. Go over to Instagram in the App Store and update your app. Once you've done that, we can move forward. So when you are on your live stream, one of the things that I hear is people don't know how to do this. So I've got detailed tutorials down in the description bar below. You want to check those out, but the quick highlight reel of this one is that while you're live, you're going to go down to the bottom of your screen. You're going to see a camera roll icon. You can click on that. It'll pull up your camera roll and you can scroll through and you will be able to see the photos and the videos that you may want to use on your screen. When you tap on one, it will make it the main part of your screen and your box with your face in it will be up in the top corner. You can tap to invert and then you can click and scroll through the videos and photos that you want during your live stream. Now, a lot of people come to me and say the photos or the videos that I just put on my phone for this live stream were not in my camera roll. What did I do wrong? This is because sometimes when you have images and photos and videos from your computer that you've put on your phone, it doesn't register as native content. So you're going to have to go through and screenshot your photos. I have to do this for my live streams all the time, and sometimes you have to save your videos in different formats, and you need to be aware that this is something you have to do before you go on air. If you leave your live stream, it kicks you off your live stream. So this is something you need to check before you go on air. Every single time before I live stream on Instagram, if I'm going to be screen sharing, I snap photos of every single one of the pictures that I am putting up there to make sure that they're there, and then I can delete the duplicates from my camera roll later on. Now, another thing that I hear is that people had the technology but then lost the technology. So if you had the ability to actually screen share and all of a sudden there was an update and you no longer have that ability, it's because your phone kind of aged out of the technology. Instagram, like all the social media platforms, is constantly innovating their technology, and the older model phones do not necessarily support it. So if the phones do not build the technology to compensate and work with the new technology from this ever-changing social media platforms, your phone may have aged out, which means it's not going to be able to keep up with that technology. So if you had it and you lost it, it probably means you have an older model phone, and it's time, unfortunately, for you to either learn to live without it or to update your phone. Now, some people just straight up don't have access to the camera roll. This tells me that your phone is probably an Android or an older model phone. Not all Androids and not all older model phones have the technology built into their system to support this type of content. So you will see that you have some Instagram features like everybody else, and there are some that you will not have access to. After you've checked your updates, after you made sure you're hitting the right buttons, at that point you have to understand that you are either going to have to learn to live without it or you're going to have to update your phone. Instagram and most of the social media platforms innovate for iOS before Android technology. So iPhone users typically have cutting-edge technology. They typically have first access to these new features, while Androids don't. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. Sometimes they just don't get it at all. We've been monitoring the situation for months and months and months, and it doesn't look like the phone creators or Instagram will be innovating to make this work for you. So if you have a phone where it doesn't work, you're either going to have to work around it or you're going to have to get a new phone. Currently at this time, Instagram does not allow us to live stream from anywhere but our phone natively. We do not have an open API, which means we can't use a third party like BeLive to live stream to Instagram, which means we only get the features that they give us and that our phones are compatible with. So unfortunately, if you do not have access to it at this point after trying all of these things, you will have to resort to holding up paper as you are live streaming with the words on it, which is something I recommend you do if you are going to be showing things off. Now, do not hold up a screen. I have seen people hold up tablets or computers or other phones to try to show things off, and that just results in glare. Usually there's like a rainbowy kind of effect over top of that technology. Don't do that. Also, avoid using whiteboards because they will glare off of any of the ambient light in your room and it's going to make it really hard to read. I recommend getting pieces of cardstock, so hard paper, or I recommend holding up several sheets of paper as you're writing on it with a bold marker or permanent marker so that people can easily see what you are writing, or figure out how to deliver your content without needing those visual aids. I know it can be a real pain, but you're innovative, you're creative, and I believe that you can do this. Now in our next video, we're going to continue to talk about how you can up your game with your social media strategy to create a profitable business through what you're doing in your marketing. We're talking all about Instagram, Facebook, we're talking about TikTok, we're talking about YouTube, all those really great places that you can be growing. And if you've got questions on how to do screen sharing on any of the platforms, check out our last video and hit me up in the comments below, because we're breaking down everything you need to know to grow that profitable business. We're happy to get your questions answered. Next week, we're talking all about Instagram and some really cool new features that they have that you don't want to miss out on as an entrepreneur in this day and age to grow your business. I'll see you there.